Hello everyone and welcome to my first ever travel vlog. We never travel, my husband and I, but we went on a road trip to celebrate our 5th anniversary in September, so I wanted to share that with you guys. I ended up buying tickets online to a concert in Bridgeport, Connecticut, so we decided to drive all the way from Michigan to Connecticut over a course of 3 days. So we left early Saturday morning. We went through Canada to visit Niagara Falls. So we are in Canada right now. I'm filming a random bridge for you guys. I don't know where this is. I'm sorry. But we had never been to Niagara Falls, so we both wanted to go. We ended up being there around 4 o'clock, which is later than we had intended. But we left a little bit later than we tried to. So we went through Canada and spent some time in Niagara Falls. We ended up driving through New York that night. We stayed in Pennsylvania. And then Sunday we kept on driving to Connecticut because the concert was Sunday night. And then we spent some time there in Connecticut. We spent the night and then we drove back on like all day Monday. So it was a really crazy trip. There was just over 30 hours of driving, I believe, in a matter of 3 days. So I do not recommend that amount of driving in 3 days. It was crazy, but we made it through. We made it home. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you so much for clicking on it. And make sure to like the video down below if you're enjoying this travel vlog. Like I said, we don't travel often, so this is a new experience for both of us. This is Niagara, so we had never been there before. Like I said, we saw a rainbow over the water, so I got some clips of that. It was really pretty. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a voiceover for this whole video or add some music in, so there may be some music thrown in there. I'm kind of awkward at doing voiceovers, if you couldn't tell by now. And then we drove down this street, which was kind of overwhelming. Lots of tourist activities and restaurants. We did end up eating at the Hard Rock Cafe there. We were planning on eating lunch or dinner, whatever time it was, in Niagara Falls. So we stayed and ate at the Hard Rock Cafe. And I don't know what this street was called. They had like carnival rides and everything, but we spent some time there, just a little shopping and eating, and then we went and saw the falls, and then of course had to move on because we had a lot of driving to do, and we already had a hotel booked in Pennsylvania that night. But I hope you guys enjoy the photos, and I will talk to you soon. Alright guys, like I said, we ate at the Hard Rock Cafe. The food was kind of disappointing. We were really excited about this because we had never eaten here before, but the staff was friendly. My burger was the legendary burger. It was not really that legendary at all, but I did get to keep that cup that my drink was in, and the potato skins were good. I just didn't have much of an appetite yet because I think it was nerves from leaving my 2-year-old at home for the first time for that long of a trip with grandparents. So, but we still had a good time. We didn't have that much time in Canada that wasn't spent driving, so we went and ate. We took a long time to find parking, but we went and saw the falls, and it was already getting dark at that point. It was around 7:30 at night, and the sun was setting, so it did end up being dark by the time we left Canada, and then we still had like about 6 hours of driving to get to our hotel that night. So like I said, this is not recommended. We definitely could have made a day out of Niagara Falls and stayed the night there. We just went in a quick souvenir shop to look for some Canadian souvenirs because, like I said, my husband and I had never been there before, so we wanted to check it out before we headed out again on the road. see anything at night.
Raised their own pies in response, and echoed toast. Then all four apprentices burst out laughing.
Hi, Canada.
They told us United States of America. Woo!
Yay! Alright. That was the plan, huh? So unfortunately, when we finally made it to New York, this was the first rest stop we went at. It was huge. As you can see, it was empty, except for there was one guy in there that ended up yelling at me for filming. Not like an employee, just like a guy eating in the empty rest area. So that was really weird. Interesting first experience in New York. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But he wasn't yelling at me, he yelled at my husband when he came out of the bathroom because he thought I was filming him, which of course I wasn't, as you could see. And even if I accidentally film people, I always blur it out in these videos. But here we are driving through the night anyways. There's a blood moon that we saw, which was really cool. We never get to see blood moons. It's a really rare thing, obviously. We're still driving through New York. I wasn't going to share that story about the rest area, but I figured I might as well tell you guys. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Our first time being in New York and someone yells at me for filming an empty rest area. Like I said, we drove straight east through to Syracuse and then down to Pennsylvania. They had this huge stadium there. I'm not sure what that was. We could only see it like lit up at night. But I think they had like a college in Syracuse and it's like a college stadium thing. When I looked it up, that's what it looked like it was. So I have no idea. We just saw giant lights and you see signs starting for Scranton now. We got there really, really late. We ended up going to the Poor Richard's pub or bar thing that if you watch The Office, you've heard of it or seen it, I guess. They didn't actually go there in the show The Office, but they mention it a lot, so that is in Scranton, Pennsylvania. We ended up getting there right before they close, like literally at 2 a.m., and it's kind of weird because it's in a bowling alley, but the bartender was super nice and helpful there, and we made it before last call, so we were able to try this drink that they have for Office fans, and I got a cool souvenir cup, so that was really great because they didn't open the next day on Sunday until too late, so we wouldn't have had time to go the next day. So the drink was really good. They had the recipe up there, so I can recreate it at home pretty easily. And this is my cup that I got to keep. Good morning, guys. This was our room last night. We got like a cheap motel in near Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's like a little 20 minutes south of there. Yeah, not the greatest place. We just got it to save some money. There was also a car being towed outside at like 7:30 this morning, and we didn't get here till almost 3 a.m. of course. And then we found a bug in one of the beds, so we like weren't even sure if we wanted to sleep here or not, but like all the other rooms were full, and we talked to the manager and he didn't have anything else besides like a smoking room, which obviously smelled really horrible. So neither of us are smokers, so obviously we didn't touch that bed, and we used as little of their bedding as we could. I brought this sheet from home. Anyways, that kind of grossed us out, but at least we got some sleep because it was a long day of driving yesterday, and at least the AC works and there's like holes in the curtain. Anyways, I'm really tired, but we had a long day yesterday, but we're gonna go check out Scranton a little bit today, so we'll see you guys later. Yeah, so this motel room was not great. Obviously, I said we got it just to save money, and I still don't know what kind of bug we found in the bed, and we weren't able to get our money back either because we had booked through a third-party website, of course. So, and like I said, they didn't have any extra rooms. So we did end up sleeping there, but we missed breakfast because we just slept past it. So we ended up going to Denny's in Scranton for breakfast that morning. That's fine because they probably didn't have a lot for breakfast at that hotel anyways. So that was kind of disappointing for our first night there. But it was so late we wouldn't have been able to find anywhere. Anyways, we were tired from driving all day Saturday and we just needed to get some sleep. So the Denny's breakfast was really good. And then we were about 20 minutes away from Scranton at that hotel, so we drove over there real quick. Most of the shops I wanted to visit from the office they opened around noon that Sunday, so we kind of had a slow morning since I knew I wanted to visit some of those and visit some of the attractions that are seen or talked about on The Office, since The Office wasn't actually filmed in Scranton, Pennsylvania. But that's the setting of it. Basically, if you watch The Office, you know, and this is probably really exciting for you. And if you don't watch The Office, you probably don't care about Scranton, Pennsylvania at all. So that's totally fine. But I loved everything about it. It was probably my favorite part of the trip. So it's some really exciting stuff for me there. Alright guys, we did get to Scranton a little bit before noon, maybe around 11:30, and parked and walked around for a bit until the Steamtown Mall opened, because that was one of the things I wanted to go see. And then if you go through the Steamtown Mall, we saw this cool, the railroads and the Scranton Historic Site thing, and they had the Scranton sign in there. So we went and walked around for a little bit. It was a really nice day outside. We were just, of course, crunched on time because we had to keep driving again for the day. So Scranton, we probably could have stayed another day there as well, but I think we had a good amount of time where we got to go to at least all the places I wanted to visit, and we got to see the mural that was on one of the walls downtown. That was only painted a couple years ago, I guess. It was really pretty and huge, so that was amazing to see. And yeah, all the railroads, we probably could have, if we had more time, we could have rode on a little trolley, I think. We saw that go by, but like I said, we just did not have a ton of time in Scranton that day before we had to get on the road again. So there wasn't really that much to see at the Steamtown Mall. I guess we didn't have time for shopping anyways, but I mean, there was a post office, there was like maybe one or two restaurants in the food court that were just opening up when we got there. there is the train that I said we could have rode on if we had more time. They had like one large kind of department like store that we didn't even go into, and like a post office. So I took a picture with my sign. This is it. This used to be on the highway and they had to move it because it was causing traffic backups, I guess, from fans of the show wanting to take pictures with it. So I grabbed Starbucks at the mall and then we moved on. We did stop at Cooper's on the way out of Scranton, but then we had to get going to make it to our check into our next hotel and to the show in Connecticut that night. But Cooper's was really awesome. Cooper's is technically a seafood restaurant that I guess they go to or mention on the show. So we of course had to stop there because they're known for their huge like gift shop of all office themed merchandise. So I was totally geeked out while I was in there and had to get a few things, of course, while we were there. Took an extreme amount of pictures again. I had tons of fun there. But we were still full kind of from breakfast that morning, and I don't eat seafood, so we did not end up eating there, even though I'm sure it's a good restaurant too. I don't know. But I believe the gift shop opened at noon as well that day since it was a Sunday. And it was really fun in there because they played The Office the entire time we were in there. So I think that'd be such a fun job. Basically just, if you're a cashier there, you just sit and watch The Office all day. I don't know. It sounds like a fun job to me. Maybe I would get sick of it after a while, but I have rewatched the show a couple times, so maybe not. I don't know.
This is my wife. Whatever privacy you were trying to protect.
This great the electricity straight out of Scranton.
It's cool. And I can teach you yourself. Look at that. It's a puzzle. Golden girls.
Okay, so it was probably a little after 1 at this point. I don't know. And we had just about made it to New York. I know we got to the hotel around 4 o'clock to check in because we wanted a little bit of time to relax after driving that long and before the concert that night. So I didn't even tell you what the concert actually was. There's the New York sign. But I got tickets to the Lindsey Sterling and Halestorm concert. It was supposed to be like an anniversary gift surprise type thing for my husband since he really likes both of them. And they had kind of a conjoined concert tour going on right now. And I was really excited that it was in Bridgeport, Connecticut, because I'm also a fan of Gilmore Girls. So I wanted to head out there and visit some Gilmore Girls inspired towns while we were there as well. So yeah, that was what the concert was that we were going to that night. Here is some pictures that's proof that I did do some driving on this trip, although my husband did do a majority of the driving, which I'm so thankful for. There was at least a couple of pictures of proof that I did drive for at least a few hours that day to let my husband take a break from driving for a little bit. So yeah, we got to the hotel around 4. It was a lot nicer of a hotel than the one the night before, and it was only like a $20 difference, which is crazy. You can see the beautiful mountains that we drove through. I wish I could tell you exactly what mountains they were. I Googled it. I think it was the Poconos. So here we are at the hotel checking in, getting ready. I wanted to change before leaving, and it was about a 40-minute drive to the actual concert venue from our hotel. So we didn't really have a lot of time since I wanted to get there early, like an hour before the event started so we could find parking and everything. So we wanted to get there around 5:30, and the show started at 6:30 and lasted a few hours, but we were really excited to just be already checked into our hotel room and have a place to crash as soon as the concert was over, since we didn't end up getting back there till almost midnight. And then we just planned on eating at the concert venue since they had like food trucks there, which was really not disappointing at all, even though it was really expensive food, obviously. They did have really good pizza there, but we ended up driving. The 40-minute drive there was really pretty because we drove through this really fancy like neighborhood, kind of like the back roads, but there were some really nice like rich looking houses down there. So I don't know what it was we were driving through, but it was really pretty on the way to the concert venue, in the daylight at least. So, like I said, we were driving from, I believe, Ridgefield, Connecticut, where our hotel was, to Bridgeport. That's where the concert venue was. We're getting really close. We can start to see the top of the concert venue here. It was actually an outdoor, like amphitheater type thing, like the Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater. There's the name of it there. We were only like a mile away from the ocean, but we could not see the shoreline at all on this trip because I did want to see other things while we were there. There's the delicious pizza that we got for like $20 or something a slice after Connecticut taxes. But yeah, I got some clips from the show. This is Apocalyptica. I've never heard of, but that was the band who was opening for Lindsey Sterling and Halestorm. It was a really beautiful amphitheater and a really nice night. It was September 14th was the day of the concert, so I wasn't sure what the weather was going to be like, but we had a really nice night, and we did have covering over our heads, at least in case it rained, which was nice.
Preach word, we need you tonight, so let me hear it, come on!
as you can see, we had a really fun time at the concert. That was Lindsey Sterling and Halestorm's first time ever performing that song live, apparently. That's what they said. They recorded that song together like 10 years ago, and then this tour is like the first time they ever performed it live together, so that was really cool to see. And then we got back to the hotel really late, around midnight that night, and just passed out. And then this is the next morning, Monday. We had breakfast at the hotel and then went out and went up to New Milford. It was maybe 45 minutes north of our hotel. And this is a town that was inspired by Gilmore Girls. That's not where they actually filmed it, since Stars Hollow isn't a real city, but I wanted to go up there and see New Milford since it was so close. And we unfortunately just missed by a day. They had a Gilmore Girls event there that weekend that unfortunately we just weren't able to attend. It wasn't free and it conflicted with the times of the concert, so we just missed the Gilmore Girls event, but it's still a fun little town to go and visit, and they had cute little shops with some Gilmore Girls kind of memorabilia and stuff to buy in there. So we just had fun walking around there. I didn't really pick up any merchandise while I was there. I got a picture in front of this cute little gazebo. Some people that were there took a picture for us together in front of it as well, even though I'm sure Aaron didn't care if he got a picture in front of it or not. Anyways, we didn't spend a ton of time in New Milford, Connecticut, because we were hungry and there was a place I wanted to eat in the next city over in Washington Depot, so we went over there after this. It's like a 20-minute drive, I think, from New Milford, but I did go and get a tea latte from here and not much else. Some of the merchandise, you can get elsewhere, and some of it is exclusive to, like, this bookstore had some cute stuff. I wanted to get one of the glass cups, but they were $30, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to get another cup. I kind of regret not getting it now, but it's kind of too late because it's something you can only really find there since it was by a local artist. But all the store owners were really nice, even though we didn't have a lot of time there or didn't end up picking anything up here. So we really enjoyed our time in New Milford before heading out to Washington Depot. That's the name of it. That book you can get on Amazon, but that was the cup I was talking about. I know it's a really short clip of it, but they were really a cute design and seem well made, but I still couldn't drop the $30 on it. I already spent enough money at the office gift shop the day before. So also, if you're not a Gilmore Girls fan, you probably don't care about seeing any of this stuff, but this was just a small section in the back of the store that I was drawn to. Like, that cup was cute, but I don't really read that much, and this was actually in the back of a bookstore, and they also had like iced coffee and lattes, so that's where I got an iced latte. That was really good, but I just don't really read a lot, so we didn't spend a ton of time in that bookstore. That market was a really cute market. They had lots of candy and you can pick your own coffee beans, and the owner was really nice and gave us some samples and some advice on where to go in New Milford. So she was really nice and helpful, and I would totally go back if we're ever in Connecticut again. I also went into this thrift store and got some pictures of just the Gilmore Girls stuff. We didn't do much shopping besides that just because of time constraints, but I don't know how much of this stuff was out for the event that weekend. Then in New Milford, they had a Gilmore Girls event, so I think they had some extra stuff out left over from that. That's probably not there all the time, so I'm not sure what was and wasn't part of that event, basically. All right, so this restaurant, Marty's, was the only place we actually went to in Washington Depot. It was after 1 o'clock by the time we got here. The food was so good and honestly decently priced. I also had a lavender latte there that was delicious, so really recommend this place. Great service as well. But then we had to get back on the road because it was like 2 o'clock and we had a long drive back to Michigan that day, so I would totally love to go back there if we ever again went back to Connecticut, which like not very likely, right? But we had about maybe a 14-hour drive back to Michigan from Connecticut that day, and we didn't have another hotel booked on Monday night, so we basically just drove through the night and kept pushing through. So this was probably the hardest part of the drive, was like Monday evening, but we did go south a little bit to see the New York skyline. So we drove through Tarrytown is the name of the city in New York that we went through, because I don't know, I just read on Google that you could see the New York skyline from there on like a clear day, so we were kind of able to see it. Really zoomed in on our cameras from far away. I think it's like 30 miles north of New York or something like that. So yeah, you'll probably see clips of that here in a minute. And it's just, I wanted to see the New York skyline because I had never been to the East Coast. And again, I don't know when we're going to be back. So we did make a short little stop just to see that. We paid to park there for a little bit. It was a nice little break to walk around in a pretty little park there. And this bridge was also like a sight in and of itself. We also drove over that bridge, so it's kind of a nice view there for the bridge as well. And then we just kept driving for the rest of the day. That was pretty much it. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, that was basically the rest of our trip. We just drove through the night and switched out who was driving and just stopped at a few rest stops on the way home. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you enjoy some sunset pictures. I got quite a few pretty sunset pictures coming up from the mountains. I'm sorry the windshield is so gross. There were so many bugs on our windshield at this point of the road trip, but we didn't stop at a gas station to get gas and clean off the windshield until it was already pretty dark. It was like right after sunset. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Again, really pretty sunset. We drove through New York for what felt like forever. I didn't realize how long New York is when you're just driving like straight west through it. But it did take a really long time. We just stopped at Burger King for dinner on the way home around 7:30. And then we still had a long ways to go through Ohio. And we didn't get home till like 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So besides stopping at a rest stop for a quick nap, we literally drove through the night. So that is all for my video today. Thank you guys so much for watching my first ever travel vlog, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!